The Guardian / Chapter 2. Historical fiction inspired by Malta's past. All characters and dialogue are invented for storytelling. Welcome to The Guardian, Il Hares, Il Hares. When the temple builders faded, I sank into a half-sleep. Empty temples weathered under sun and wind. New bronze workers settled among old stones. And I learned a truth about islands. The sea is not a wall. It is a road. From the east, new sails arrived. They came in cedar ships, traders from Tyre and Sidon, on the coast of what you now call Lebanon. Around 800 BC they stopped coming only for shelter and water. They stayed. They built harbors and stone houses. Their holds carried purple cloth dyed from murex nails, glass beads, carved ivory, and cedar wood. In return they wanted Malta's safest gift, anchorages, a midpoint between east and west. Purple cloth and timber ships. Words that dance upon the tongue. The world grows larger. They also brought something beyond cargo. Letters. 22 simple signs to capture the sounds of speech. Words could travel without a voice. Stories could outlive the teller. For the first time, I understood I was not the only keeper of memory. They called my larger island Malta, a harbor, a haven. The name would endure, changing shape across centuries. They built a hilltop settlement that would become Dinah, place so watchmen could see sails from every direction. One evening, a merchant named Hanno walked the cliffs at what you now call Dingley. He had made his life here with a Maltese wife and children. He looked out to sea and spoke into the dusk. "I know you're there, spirit of this place." I answered only with a rustle in the scrub, though the air was still. Hanno smiled, thanked me for safe harbors, and turned for home. Not all who come here take. Some also notice. The Phoenicians prospered for centuries, intermarrying, carving tombs into rock, keeping links to distant coasts. But the Mediterranean road carries armies as well as merchants. By 600 BC, Carthage, once another Phoenician colony in North Africa, dominated Western trade. Malta slipped under its influence. Not a sudden conquest, more a tightening net of taxes and power. In 264 BC, the year Rome and Carthage began their first war, a girl was born in Malta and named Tanit. While she carried water and learned songs to old gods, empires stretched toward Sicily, and Malta lay in their shadow. In 254 BC, Tanit climbed the city wall and saw the fleet first. Not cedar ships. Oared vessels, moving like water insects. Roman ships. A girl on a wall. Ships bringing change. I taste iron on the wind. The Romans took Malta with little resistance. Malta became Melita. They built villas with mosaic floors, baths, and aqueducts. Women became known for fine textiles, and the harbors served ships moving along Rome's sea routes. Latin joined older speech in the market, while Punic survived at home. The island adapted, as it always does. Carthage fell at last in 146 BC. Malta became a quiet Roman outpost, too useful to destroy, too small to trouble Rome, close enough to serve the sea lanes. Then came a storm. In the autumn of 60 AD, a grain ship from Alexandria was driven for 2 weeks by harsh winds and broke on Malta's northern coast. All 276 aboard survived, according to the later account. Among them was a prisoner named Paul. Locals came with torches and built a fire on the beach. A Roman official offered shelter. When a viper fastened on Paul's hand, he shook it into the flames and carried on, and people whispered in surprise. Timber splinters against stone. A prisoner brings a message. Seeds planted in storm soil. He stayed 3 months, speaking of a single God and a new faith. Not everyone believed, but seeds were planted that would grow over centuries. Ideas have weight. They settle into cracks like sand, and over time they change the shape of stone. For centuries Malta remained under Rome. Christians met quietly at first, then more openly. In 313, Constantine granted tolerance. By 380, Christianity became Rome's official religion. New churches rose where older sanctuaries had stood. Rome weakened. In 395 the empire split east and west. Malta fell under the eastern side, the empire you now call Byzantine. The west collapsed in 476, but the east continued, turning more Greek in speech and style. The Maltese adapted again, learning enough Greek for their governors while daily life stayed familiar: taxes, raids, droughts, births, and quiet endurance. Empires rise and empires fall. My stones remain. My people endure. And then, once more, sails appeared on the horizon. Ships from North Africa, carrying men with a new faith and a new empire. The Arabs were coming, layer upon layer, like sediment in my limestone. Traders and conquerors arriving, departing, leaving words and customs behind. I am Il Hares, and I remember them all. Visit Malta. Go to ManicMalta.com/G0 for a family-run Airbnb. 2. Short.